All right, Gemini, this is your January 2021 Love Horoscope and Taroscope. I'm Ryan with Arrows of Love. Welcome back to my channel. First and foremost, if you like these videos and would like to see more of them, please click that like button and subscribe. It helps the channel and it's much appreciated. All right, Gemini, so we always start with the sun. That's where your focus is at for the month. I'm doing this on January 11th, so this is a mid-month reading. The sun is in Capricorn, and Capricorn is your 8th house. Capricorn is 8 signs past Gemini, and the 8th house is the most intense house in the entire zodiac. This is a scorpionic ruled house. It's big endings, big beginnings. It's about psychology. It's about emotional depth, going very deep. It's about lump sums and joint ventures. And it's about the death and rebirth process. So it's about transformation. So things come to an end in order for them to be reborn, to fly like the phoenix. So it's a big time for you. It's probably very intense. And it's also about passion. The 8th house is about sex, taxes, and death. It's things unseen. It's ruled by Pluto. Pluto is in Capricorn right now. So it just gives extra potency and power to these archetypal themes. So the sun is going to be in Capricorn until January 19th, until it moves into Aquarius on January 19th through February 18th. And that will be your 9th house. Aquarius is your 9th house. It's 9 signs past Gemini. And the 9th house is always about higher beliefs. It's about higher education, the higher mind. It's idealistic. And it's about long distance travel. Think of it as the archer of Sagittarius. Sagittarius is the 9th house. It goes the distance, shoots the arrow to see how far it can go. So it's about the adventure of life. But it's about personal beliefs too. And Jupiter, which rules the 9th house, is going to be in your 9th house. So that just gives extra luck and benefit to you. Jupiter is the planet of expansion, expands whatever it's near. So once, if things have been really intense in January here, things will probably get a little bit better after January 19th when the sun moves into Aquarius. There's going to be a stellium of planets in Aquarius during February. Stelliums mean 3 or more planets. In this case, there's going to be 5 sitting in your 9th house. The sun, Mercury, Venus, Saturn, and Jupiter. That is mega power. That means you're going to be really reviewing your personal beliefs, your ideals. This is a spiritual house, and it's about long distance travel. So there's a lot happening, at least in February, in that 9th house. But to get there, you got to go through the intensity of the 8th, secrets revealed, big endings, big beginnings, lump sums, joint ventures. Venus, the goddess of love, is also sitting in your 8th house of Capricorn, and she's going to be there until February 1st, so a couple more weeks. Venus in Capricorn is very stabilizing. She's pragmatic. She wants to lay long-term foundations so love can withstand the test of time. So you got to go slow here if you really want to harness the power of Venus in Capricorn. Venus in Capricorn, or Venus in your 8th house, though, that's about passion. It's about going deep. It can bring in lump sums because Venus is a money planet as well. It's about psychology, and it's about the transformation process, death and rebirth, major endings and major beginnings. So it's very intense when Venus is here. Venus in the 8th house is at her detriment, so there can be some tough love here as well. The dispositor for January, however, is Mars. Mars has been sitting in Aries for 6 months due to its retrograde cycle. For you, Gemini, that's in your 11th house. So you could have been reviewing groups, friends associations, social networks, your hopes, wishes, and dreams, technology and innovation. And this also represents rebellion too, and awakening, spiritual awakening. So now that Mars has moved out of Aries, the god of war, and its home sign, it moved out of Aries on January 6th, and we know what happened on January 6th. It's now moving into your 12th house, which can be equally as intense. Mars is going to be moving into Taurus. Mars in Taurus doesn't do so well It's at its fall detriment position here, so we don't really get the benefit of Mars. Mars represents action, vitality. It's your get up and go. So in Taurus, it can be pretty aggravated, and it can be irritable and impulsive and aggressive, and it just doesn't do so well here. Taurus is slow moving, and Mars is fire, and it wants to move fast. So you can see how the two conflict with each other. There's a series of planets that Mars is going to square. Squares are challenges over in Aquarius, which is that ninth house of higher ideals, higher education, long distance travel, spirituality, and personal beliefs. You're going to see this theme come up again and again through February and January. January 13th, this is the first one. It's been making a series of squares. These are the big ones coming up. January 13th, Mars in your 12th house of isolation, introspection. This is the house of karma. This is a spiritual house. Anything can come up here that needs to be cleared out, so to speak. So Mars is gonna be making a square over to taskmaster, delay, restrictive Saturn. Saturn sitting in Aquarius in your ninth house of higher beliefs, ideals, higher education, long distance travel, and spirituality. So you might be having a spiritual awakening during this time through some really challenging personal events. And again, that 12th house, it could be anything. It's the house that the universe uses to correct things that have happened in the previous 11 houses. So just be prepared. It's aggressive here. It's impulsive. The best way to deal with these Mars squares is to exercise as much as possible, get some fresh air, do some meditation and some yoga, and let things roll off your back. Endings and beginnings, people are going to come and go, situations are going to come and go. You just have to accept that the universe is realigning you for a higher path. Don't fight it. The 13th is also going to be a very powerful new moon. A new moon is the new lunar cycle, and that's when the moon conjoins or crosses over the sun. And this is going to happen in Capricorn, and this happens in your 8th house of intimacy, taxes, death and rebirth, lump sums, joint ventures, psychology, going deep. This is also a great time to get an astrology reading, by the way, too. So if you've been looking, my email is in the description box below, and you can drop me an email. We can set up a time. So great time to do this as well. But the new moon is going to be in that 8th house. It's very intense, and it happens to be 1 degree away from Pluto, which rules the 8th house. So this is big, big stuff. It could be secrets revealed. Pluto represents secrets, things unseen. When the two luminaries, the sun and the moon, are that close to Pluto, which also represents death, we can see a death of a solar figure, and Capricorn represents government. So you can draw whatever inferences you want from that. This also represents possibly the new shift of government in the United States. Big changes coming up with the Georgia elections, change in president, etc. You can see where this is going, right? But on a personal level, it's big changes in that 8th house of intimacy, lump sums, joint ventures, anything to that effect. Secrets are going to be coming out those days, so prepare yourself. It's a very intense day. The good news is stabilizing Venus, also in Capricorn, god of love, is going to be making a harmonizing trine over to Uranus in that 12th house. Again, this can be a little isolating. This is karma. This is spirituality. But when Venus and Uranus make a harmonious trine, this can bring up an amorphous love too. You can be very attracted to foreign people, foreign lands, things you would normally not be accustomed to. But again, Venus in the 8th house is at its detriment. So this could be a push and pull. It could be tough love, and it can also be an amorphous love at the same time. And it's also, Uranus is the agent of change and shock and awe. So something could come up out of surprise out of that 8th house. It could be financially related with joint ventures, lump sums that you just didn't see coming. But again, this could also point to something very intoxicating on the love front. January 14th. Now, Uranus, which has been going in its retrograde cycle for several months, finally stations direct, and it's going to start moving forward on January 14th, very slow. Uranus is the great liberator. It's the great awakener. It represents rebellion, shock, and awe, technology, and innovation. So what you need to know about this is people are going to be really weird. Things are going to be a little bit different right around January 14th. It's just people are going to be acting kind of bizarre, and you got to let them do it because they're being inspired by something new, something independent, something innovative. So it's a good day to let the freak flag fly, so to speak. But just know if people are acting different, it's because Uranus is now moving direct. January 20th, this is another really potent day. Mars transiting through your 12th house of isolation, karma, endings, spiritual awakenings is now going to align with Uranus, the great liberator, the great awakener, and the moon, which represents the public tone and emotion. This is an explosive day, and it also happens to be inauguration day. Anything could happen in the 12th. And when Uranus and Mars get together and you add the moon with emotion, it's just going to be an explosive day. It's going to be extremely tense. You're going to see power dynamics play out in the national news. My advice to you is self-isolate. Don't make any sudden moves. Stay at home, get exercise, do some meditation, but don't rock the boat because the 20th is going to be off the charts. Moving forward, January 23rd, now Mars still transiting through that 12th house in Taurus is going to be making a challenging square. This is a 90-degree aspect over to Jupiter. Jupiter is the planet of expansion. It expands whatever it's aspecting. Mars is the god of war, taking action. So Jupiter's in the 9th house. This is where your personal beliefs are going to be challenged. And Jupiter rules the 9th. So there's a benefic quality that can be found. But when it's squaring Mars in its fall position, it's premature action. You got to look before you leap here on the 23rd, because this could have dire consequences if you don't. And again, we're going to look to Venus for stabilizing, grounding energy. She's in that 8th house of sex, taxes, and death. So maybe you just want to get it on to get some energy out. That's fine. But that's going to sextile, Venus is going to sextile Neptune, which is a dreamy, imaginative planet. It also can be a little bit nebulous sometimes too. And that's sitting in your 10th house of career. So again, when I see 8th house, 10th house, Venus, Neptune, there could be some confusion, possibly on the career front, but this could also point to some really great things on finance. So maybe you get like a bonus that you weren't expecting. Maybe there's some insurance payout or tax payout that you weren't expecting. Like it's something here, but it's also an opportunity. So you got to go out and find it. It's not going to just show up at your front door. But on the love front, Venus-Neptune is extremely romantic. So if you're single and you're out and looking, this is a great time to get out there, put yourself out there. If you're partnered up, great time to rekindle that flame on the 23rd. Moving forward on the 28th, now Venus in your 8th house of passion, joint ventures, psychology, and the occult is going to align with Pluto, and this is magnetic, powerful energy. This is great for passion, but remember, this is also about death and rebirth. So Pluto is the great deconstructor. This is about secrets. So when Venus crosses over Pluto, secrets can come out on the intimacy front. This could also be tough love. It just depends on which way this is going to go. It could go really great where there's amazing passion, or this could be just like a tough love type of day. And the reason why I say that is it's also a full moon that day, and Mars is right in the mix of it. So the sun sitting in Aquarius on the 28th in your 9th house of personal beliefs, ideals, higher education, long distance travel, foreign people, foreign land, people, politica, is going to be opposing the moon, which is sitting in your 3rd house of communication, learning, short distance travel. And Mars is going to be squaring the sun and the moon sitting in the 12th. So again, this could be literally anything that comes up. It's an extremely tense day. So I wouldn't be surprised if you were challenged on your personal beliefs with communication, people challenging you. Could be personal relationships, secrets revealed. It could really take you by surprise. So, and it involves power dynamics here. So try to avoid it if you possibly can on the 28th, because it's just an extremely intense day. If that wasn't enough, January 30th, now Mercury is going to go through its retrograde cycle in Aquarius, and that is in your 9th house of ideals, personal beliefs, higher education, foreign people, foreign land, people, politica. So that is a 3-week period, and that's going to go from January 30th through February 21st. And it's going to happen in Aquarius. So again, for you though, Gemini, the good news here is that Jupiter rules the 9th house, so there is a benefic quality here. But the thing is, there's going to be so many planets lined up in Aquarius that it's just going to be massive power dynamics. And Mercury retrograde is always about communication being off, technology being off, being impatient. Your mind might be in 1,000 different places. This is your ruling planet after all. So, whenever Mercury retrogrades, you tend to be affected the most because this is your ruling planet. So really pay attention to what's going on. Slow down. It's a time of review and reassessment whenever Mercury retrogrades. And again, that's from January 30th through the 21st. All right, so pay attention to what's happening on the 13th. Power dynamics, that new moon, secrets revealed. January 20th, that's an explosive day. That's when Mars and Uranus and the moon are going to align. And then, of course, the 28th with that full moon and Venus aligning with Pluto. Again, that could be some tough love or it could be some really great passion. So those are the 3 days I really want you to pay attention to. And the 12th is all about clearing out the karmic sludge. So let things go as they will. Let things come in as they will. Go with the flow as much as you possibly can. The more you fight it, the worse things get. So let's pull some angels card. We're going to take a look at that love department. A lot happening in that 8th house of intimacy for you, Gemini. Saturn and Jupiter just left your 8th house, making that area over. Now the sun's doing a review of it. So let's see how things are going. These are general readings. The messages will not resonate with all of you. Take the messages that do resonate with you, leave the rest. Also take a look at your ascendant, moon, and Venus signs. Sometimes those will resonate with you more, depending on what's happening in your natal chart. I did shuffle these before I got on here, but I want to give you a real good shuffle here. All right. Gemini. Engagement. Your love life is ascending to a higher level of commitment. Very nice. Healing family issues. Your love life benefits as you forgive your parents. All right. Gemini. What's going on here? Some foundational things happening. I'm just going to take a look and see. Those could be higher beliefs. That's the 9th house. Your ideals, personal beliefs. You could be affected by that. So let's pull some cards from the tarot and clarify. This one wanted to come out. Justice. A lot of people are getting the Justice card. This is a rebalance of sorts. 10 of Cups. Very nice. Wow. That's happiness. 3 of Cups. Ace of Pentacles. This is a new start. Great reading so far. 9 of Pentacles. Wow. This is happiness. Ooh. Okay, 7 of Swords. So, all right. So Gemini, as always, you are the twin. So you always you got multiple things going on at once. So one side tells me things are great and you're trying to figure something out and you're trying to manifest the life you really want. And the other side is telling me there might be some self-deception involved. So let's take a look. So you want the engagement. Your love life is ascending to a higher level of commitment. So some of you might be getting engaged very soon. This is also, marriage, taking it to that higher level. And justice here, this represents law. Marriage is a legal contract after all. So some of you might be getting married. Congratulations if you get that engagement. Otherwise, for some of you, this requires the rebalance too. So this is the Libra card. Some of you might be dealing with a Libra. And the balance here, there's the scales of justice. In a love reading, it's always requiring a rebalance. So some of you might need rebalance through clarity of thought. That's what swords are, thoughts, mental energy. So if you're trying to take it to a new level, there might be a rebalance. Others of you, this is about an actual commitment. So very exciting. And the reason why I say that is because this is the ultimate bliss card. This is the 10. This is the end of a cycle. You notice there's, the couple here with the rainbow, the kids, and the house. This is everything, right? So some of you are ascending to this level. You've manifested this in some respect. Others of you, you're trying to get to this level through the rebalance. And there's celebration of some type involved, right? This is the celebration card. The 3s, that's always a great time. There's something to celebrate here. Others of you could be a third-party situation. And that could be the rebalancing needed here. There's something interfering in the relationship. This isn't all of you. This message is for some of you. But that, like I said, some of you are getting married. You're having the celebration, kids, house, beautiful ending, right? Others of you need to rebalance, and there could be a potential third-party situation. And it's pointing to some family issues. Your love life benefits as you forgive your parents. So you might need to go deep here. And I talked about the 8th house. This is a very intense house with Venus sitting in it, right? So there can be some tough love here. Not for all of you, for some of you. Venus in the 8th is at its detriment. Doesn't do so well. The 9th house has to do with higher beliefs, ideals. There might be something here that needs psychological work to rid yourself of some belief that really isn't serving you. That's what the 8th house is all about. Digging really deep in order to be reborn like the phoenix. So your personal beliefs are transformed once you do the work in the 8th. And that's what Saturn and Jupiter was all about in all of 2020. So once you start healing that aspect of your life, whatever it requires, all of a sudden the universe starts opening up for you and you start the new cycle, right? This is an offer from the universe to start something new. This is Capricorn. Pentacles represent earth signs. Earth signs are Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. We talked a lot about Capricorn. That's where Venus and the Sun is sitting right now in your 8th house. Sex, taxes, and death. Psychology, astrology, lump sums. Could be a lump sum. Something needs healing. Something needs to come from the foundation of the home and the family in order to be reborn and then to make it into this next cycle. We talked a lot about Taurus. It's your 12th house of karma, endings, isolation. So once you clear out the karmic debt, once you clear out the karmic sludge, once you start doing the rebalance work, you start that new cycle. And the 9 is a fantastic card. This is what you have next. So when you start that new cycle, this is where you're going. It's the woman in her garden, counting her money, having the bird. She's got it all. This is the life that you're trying to create. But there's some type of self-deception happening here. You can't lie to yourself, Gemini. If you want this happy ending, if you want the emotional fulfillment, if you want the pentacles sitting in that bank account, if you want the celebration, can't lie to yourself. You can't lie to others. Or, in the reverse, someone's not being on the up and up with you. I said, again, this isn't for all of you, just for some of you. There might be a third-party situation happening, and someone's going to get caught. And I always say when I see this card, and this has come up for several other signs too, notice that this person's got 5 swords in his hand and he's got 2 laying on the ground. It's not a very good liar, cheater, or thief because he leaves breadcrumbs laying all over the place. So, if it's a partner or a lover, they're going to get caught, and that could be around January 13th or the 28th. That's when secrets are going to be revealed. If it's you, Gemini, you need to be on the up and up about this. It's a rebalancing of sorts. Again, take the messages that apply to you. Others of you are getting married, but there might be some self-deception involved here. And it requires some rethinking, going deep. That's what the 8th house is all about. What it is you truly want to be reborn. But you can't do it through misinformation. Let's pull another card for the outcome. Okay, this is nice. Page of Cups. It's messages. The messages are coming. This could also be children. For those of you that might be engaged or getting married, children might be on the way soon. Others of you, you're going to have to deal with some messages on the work front, possibly. This could be lump sums again, joint ventures. But watch for this. Someone might not be totally honest with you. Watch for self-deception. Make sure you clear the karma. 12th house, Taurus, that's where Mars, Uranus, and the moon are going to be around 20th. That's a karmic house. You really have to be careful here. No karmic loops, Gemini. Time to rebalance. Take those commitments to the next level. Requires rebalancing. If you're getting engaged, things are looking good, but no third-party situations, no lying. Heal your family issues, personal beliefs. Then you start the new cycle. That's the new cycle. This is where you want to go. And this is where you can go. Into the garden. Greener pastures, right? But it requires the rebalance. It requires being on the up and up. And it requires you to be truthful in your communication. All right, Gemini, if you enjoyed these videos, please like them. Please subscribe. We'll talk to you next month again. Be on the lookout. January 13th, January 20th, January 28th. Those are intense days. Self-isolate. Don't do anything impulsive. Keep your communication clear. Mercury's going to go retrograde on the 30th. You got to be really careful with your communication, especially you, because that's your ruling planet. Otherwise, I wish you guys the best of luck. We're going to talk next time in February. More to come. And take care of yourself, Gemini.